Yeah, if you can't, that'll be a problem. Are you coming in or what's happening?
Do you want me to, like, am I going to be on there?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to sit there, you're going to be on it. Otherwise, you could. But I've got to hit the button. So.
Welcome. Sneak you back under again. Yeah, she's showing off.
That's what the benefit of all that walking. All right. Okay, that's that. We are seeing it. I'm going to mute that. And we'll hit this button. Hello, folks. I'll hit that button. We should be able to see what's going on. Fingers crossed you'll be able to see a bit of this. Welcome to the inside of the bus, and here is a bit of a look. I'm sort of still getting the paperwork together and associated other bits and pieces. Now, just going to see whether or not we've got people in the chat that can actually see and hear us. I'm hoping this is the case.
Anybody just...
Anybody seeing us? Oh, there we go. There is a stream. I'm seeing us. So there you go. People must be seeing us. And it's getting a little exciting because now you can not only see me, but you can see these guys as well. Welcome Cass and welcome Vince, who's looking steadfastly at the moment at the...
iPad that's not showing me anything.
Is it dark or is it...
No, it's just got your wonderful mug on your...
Have you hit play?
What do you mean? I've got to do something like really intelligent like hit play?
Yeah, there you go. Technical wonders of our magnificent IT professional.
Yeah.
It may or may not work that way, but I'm seeing the chat, so thanks Alan. I can see that you can hear. There's a bit of a delay in what I'm watching on here and what we're actually doing in there, but we'll get it all right eventually. Vince is... Have you having any luck?
Not yet.
Do you want to give it to me and I'll put the video over to you and you can talk?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
There you go. You're
so
on.
while he sorts out an Apple product, because it's an Apple product, I get to sit here and say hello. We are this far off having lights on the bus. As soon as we finish this stream, I'll be go plug, and we should have lights. But hopefully everything will be working. Also, would like to introduce Cass, our other partner. So you've all met Cass before from Freedom Financial Solutions. And we're reaching across. So weather being a little bit inclement tonight, we decided not to do a fireplace thing because we did have that planned, but the rain's been off and on a bit for the day, so all things considered. So I actually get to say, howdy folks.
For the first time. And,
that's the first time.
And I want to say thank you, Vince, for all the work that you've done in the last few days here. Some of which you can see piled up behind over Vince's left shoulder, or right one as you look at it.
Dashboards,
yeah,
and bits and pieces. And
crawling in through the motor hole you can see in the bottom there. So you can see we really spruced the joint up for you. If I showed the camera the other way, you'd die. Yeah, there's boxes of stuff everywhere. Cass, of course, from Freedom Financial Solutions. If you are up for a self-managed super fund, or if you just want to learn a bit more about it, Cass and her team from Freedom Financial Solutions can help you out. And the FFS stands for exactly what you think it stands for. That was a pretty good get with you, and I remember you were very proud of that when it all came up.
Yes, I had needed a new business name, and I was driving home, and I'm thinking freedom for Fred's sake.
Oh, for Fred's sake.
Yeah,
oh, okay, yes.
Sake.
So Mary Jane and the team do the bulk of the work these days while you've been moving house and getting in. Congratulations on the big shift, by the way.
Thank you.
Are you a bit worn out?
Absolutely exhausted, so I'm not planning to say too much tonight. So
all right.
If you have questions on superannuation, I do hold a free question and answer session every Thursday at 12:30, and you can hop on that and ask me anything about anything financial you want on Thursdays. And
what about Fernie Haven? Is there any news going forward on that yet, or nothing you're going to divulge?
No, we can say that is now officially launched. So some of you may be aware that I am now looking at setting up communities for the future, because I believe it's the way of the future.
Yeah.
cost of living, housing crisis, everything's gone absolutely insane out there. And it's not just about the cost of living. People just want to live with like-minded people.
Yeah, sure.
So we've already successfully set up one project near Mount Tambourine, and we're looking at setting up another one called Fernie Haven. And so if anyone's interested in, basically you get land with a tiny home on it, and to be part of a community with community gardens, growing our own orchards, chickens, sheep, goats,
Yep.
even donkeys. So yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity if anyone's interested in looking at property in the
Vince.
Gold Coast hinterland.
Sorry, Vince, will you just unplug and replug that Huawei modem in for me, please?
Oh, it's offline, is it?
It's crap.
Have we gone down?
That would
Yeah,
explain
briefly.
why I can't.
I'm pretty sure it's gone down, but we might be. This is a modem all of itself, so I'm looking at a couple of different things here, folks. I've got a computer that's not talking to me, but I see that the Telstra modem went down. Starlink is actually connected to the computer, but funnily enough, we're not going through the computer tonight. We are actually going through a thing called a YOLO, which enables me to punch up separate cameras like that one. So I can punch up and say hello, and you're up there, and then I can bring back to these two over here. So we're just going to keep going because I do think that this is still going out.
Well, I gather from Davo that Starlink is freaked out. It's got question mark on it. So I gather maybe not.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into the Telstra system and see whether or not that will pick it up. Looks like it has. And I might just refresh a few things here to make sure it works. Oh well, that's got a different view. Oh yeah, Cass is moving, you're moving, we all seem to be semi-moving. So with a bit of luck, we're back. All right, so Q&A was the plan for tonight. Are we being thrown a whole heap of questions? Are we playing the conspiracy quiz? Andy Baxter wants to know. Conspiracy Games, of course, was a couple of weeks ago down in Canberra with Mary Jane and Mick Sims. A bloody great game.
Yeah, it's great fun. That was my farewell from Canberra, and it was absolute lot of fun. So really look forward to the online version starting.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a few different options for that coming our way. So looking forward to seeing what that comes up with. The conspiracy games, I thought the way that they put it together was really well done. It was the who are they kind of question. They say this, that, and the other. Who are they? And very interesting, very mind-probing questions, some of them too.
And there was also normies there, normal people but they actually found it very entertaining and humorous too, and actually knew a lot of the answers.
Yeah, that was the weird thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They knew a heap of the answers.
Yes.
So all part of the fun. We've got another camera up here.
Are we still going?
Yep, to my knowledge we are still going. Everybody's still seeing us. Say hi everybody if you can see us. I'm still getting heaps of stuff coming through in the chat. Hello Maria, hello David. Good to see you, and Michelle's in. Sunflower, God love you, you're in too. I hope things are going well in your part of the world. And Donna Lee, same for you. Good to see you. So yeah, got a few. I think we're only going out on None 2K at the moment, not on the Rumble channels, which
I was trying to hook up, but it seems to keep dropping me.
at Rumble. Yeah, I don't think it's going.
just the link. It's probably because I'm so close to the actual router.
Okay.
It's going and going.
All right. Well, Vince, why don't you kick off with some questions if you have any?
All right. So anybody who's obviously watching this, you need to be on the None 2K at the moment, unless you can see Rumble chats, Carl. Can you?
I can go to the Rumble and check it out. Give me a moment.
Okay. So Hill Summit Homestead's just popped in, and
Hey,
we've
Jack.
got Rachel Kyle. He tell a joke, ads, or someone, please. What?
Tell a joke or ads. That sounds like a...
Somewhere in a private conversation that I'm not quite sure about. But
Yeah.
Anyway. Alright guys, so tonight is about just a general gas bag, getting a chance to ask questions. As we said earlier, it's about looking to actually discuss what Freedom Broadcasting Network is about. You've got the three people who are mainly organising that, and also where we're at and what really needs to happen if we're going to be moving forward. So We'd love some questions on that. Other stuff as well, if you want to throw it in, we're more than happy for you to throw other questions in. But understanding what we're trying to do here is build a network that, as we say, it's freedom broadcasting, which allows people to come and do relevant stories. It will consist of a bit of entertainment, like they were just talking about the conspiracy games a minute ago. But there are other things like news, both sides of the news. So it's not going to be, we'll have areas for opinions, but there will be factual news as well. So you get both sides of the story. There'll be things that are happening in our community, and you end up getting both sides of the story of that. You know, you might have one person versus the council, and we'll hear the council side, and we'll hear the other person's side, that sort of thing. So you guys are able to choose what it is that you want to think. It's not us to tell you. It's for your own choice, your own ability to make decisions. But to do that costs a significant amount of money. And so we really, really, really need to start getting support from businesses and from other people. All you wonderful people who watch us now have been supporting us, great, but we need to get out to those businesses. So if you own a business or you know somebody and they are our way inclined, then send them our way. We'll get some adverts and promos and stuff done for them. What's grey and comes in buckets? There's lots of things, but I'm not sure we want to actually ask.
Yeah, be careful about doing the front part of jokes until you know the end. That's my advice.
All right. Adds elephants. Oh, yeah. There's not, guys. This is your chance to ask us anything. So I love how this family chats in the chat by itself. It's a whole show. I think they just come on to Carl's show and they ignore him and just do the chat amongst themselves, to be honest.
Not exactly what we want to hear, but yeah.
But they do. There is a whole conversation that goes on, a whole different story that goes on in the chats when you're sitting there. So, really, Jay, I'm not going to repeat the joke.
Okay, very good.
Question and answers, not joke time, although we like to muck around, admittedly.
We do. We don't mind a smile around here. Something that I want to just touch on briefly is something that I've really only been made aware of in the last few days, and that is the variety of tiny homes and spaces that are available for people to buy on. It doesn't really matter what size block. There is something to fit, whether it be a 20-foot container to a 4-foot open to the sunlight at any rate, windows if you like, and a really interesting acoustic in them when you talk. Now, you've got one on the property, you're planning on putting more onto Fernie Haven as well. Are they a really cost-effective option?
Yeah, absolutely. So the point of the dome, the round space actually gives you a lot more living space. It seems really weird, but you can fit more in a round space than a square space. And the idea with the round is you can put dividers in. Some of the dome structures have 2 to 3 bedrooms, kitchen, lounge room.
Yep.
It can all just be put with dividers into the domes. Really good acoustics, really good insulation, and the opening to the sun that you saw. You can have more windows, you can have more openings wherever you like. Very cost effective. So that one up there, and it's a display for anyone to come and have a look at, cost around $30,000.
Right. Okay.
So $30,000, plus you want to probably put a deck, and we are looking at putting a kitchen and toilet in it. Probably more up around $50,000, but that's comfortable living. Yeah. Absolutely comfortable living.
And you own everything.
Yeah.
And if you have to, it can be relocated.
Easily relocated. They're based, and the other good thing about them is that council have no jurisdiction over them whatsoever, because basically they're just a tent.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that keeps you out of their clutches.
Why are there 2 streams going?
And there are also ways of. My partner Samantha has an idea to hempcrete or aircrete.
Yeah.
The outside or on the inside, whichever way you want to do it, to then make it a permanent.
Yeah.
Very, very, very solid structure.
Yeah, and it would well, yeah, obviously make it solid, but it would allow a little bit more flexibility with things you could cut into it too, build into it, with that strength
no
that
doubt.
would be added with that too. And there are so many other different options, which, I mean, you've explored a number. I'm not sure that all of them are going to be showcased on any of the properties, but the one that I saw was this inflatable envelope, essentially, that you can, well, inflate and then cover in hempcrete.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can put that into hills, bury it underground, and it's as strong as a cement building.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many different options, and there's the obviously container homes, which are my favourite. Just to me, they look very, very modern and sleek, and you've got the protection of the metal. The tiny homes on wheels,
Oh no,
2-story.
that modem's died again.
Yeah, someone just popped up in here. Why are there 2 streams?
Why would there be 2 streams?
And we're not transmitting on Rumble. So
No.
I'll just shut this down in case it's interfering with the modem.
Okay, so that's going to reboot. It's really strange that Dingo's not picking us up. Might be a little bit
start this one. Hey, Carl's forgotten us.
Is that on Rumble?
No, that's on the one I'm looking at here, the live chat. I've turned that off.
Yeah.
So
I put a message in Rumble to say come to
Yeah.
So it says that we are connected again. I need to refresh. Okay, here we go. Are we back? Wave, Vince. Okay, so I think we've got a few things back. We are having a few connection troubles tonight, folks, so my apologies for that. We will endeavour to fix them. We're now connected via Starlink, so we'll see whether or not that actually outperforms or doesn't perform or does whatever it does. I'm just trying to see. That's rather interesting. I'm feeding my picture at the moment. Oh yeah, there's the wave. So we're about 30 seconds behind on the YouTube feed. So that will give you a bit of an idea. There you go. I've just popped up on the YouTube feed now. So a little bit of confusion with the lag that happens in our transmissions here. I'm sorry about that. Hi Natalie. It looks like we're in the space shuttle. Not quite, but almost. That sort of end of it looks like the space shuttle. Hello to Black Sheep. Good to talk to you today, mate. And yes, looks like Rumble isn't working. And sorry to folks on Rumble for whatever reason that hasn't decided to pick up. There has been some news coming out of America today regarding Donald Trump, and I think you're going to find a bit more out over the weekend. Last weekend's rally in Wisconsin was a huge success, even by Donald Trump standards. There were 35,000 people who couldn't get into the event and stood outside the airport for his speech. And while I did think he ran pretty close to the wind on what he said about the judge, Vince, you were telling me that you don't think he's going to get in any trouble at all for calling the judge crooked.
No, because besides the fact that the judge probably is, but effectively he's been coming out every single day after the court hearing and saying that this judge is crooked and that this stuff is going through and whatever. So I've been sort of keeping track from another lawyer over there who's been commenting on the processes, and you listen to the whole story, the game, and I'm sitting there going, relevance?
Yeah.
Why do they have that person on there? There's no relevance to the charge of doing false book work. You know, whether he had sex with someone or not is irrelevant. So that sort of thing. So, but he's been calling it, and while he has a gag order on him for lots of other things, the judge themselves can't put a gag order on Trump to say you can't talk about me, because then that's bias.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so
Can't do that.
end of story, all right? Now, I don't know how many people are actually finding us, the FBN channel. That wouldn't be streaming on there. I think people are still having a challenge actually seeing us, mate.
Well, we've still got it on here. I'm watching it quite happily.
On
Pete,
None 2K?
yeah, Peter's asked a question of Cass about the Macquarie Bank Cass. No more cash. How does that affect the self-managed super fund?
Not one iota.
Not one iota.
0%. So SMSFs can't deal in cash.
Oh, okay.
So what difference does it make?
Yeah.
So Macquarie has always been a digital inclined bank. So there's no branches near most people. I think there's only one branch in Sydney.
Yeah.
Everything's done internet banking. So going cashless means absolutely nothing. We have had so many calls this week, people wanting to close their account, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make any difference. You can't use cash in an SMSF. Anyway, and the other banks are going to follow suit before we know it. So,
What can we do to keep cash king?
as everybody's doing, keep circulating it.
Yeah.
Get your cash out. I think isn't it cash out Monday or cash out Tuesday?
Cash out Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Get all your cash out and pay all your bills during the week with cash.
Yeah.
Just keep it going. I think the best one is just don't support any businesses who don't take cash.
Yeah.
Go in and order a coffee, and then when they say no, sorry, we don't take cash, go, oh sorry, walk back out. I even talked to somebody who was going to take his whole family to a nice expensive restaurant and feed them all and have a wonderful dinner and then hand over cash, and because they said no cash accepted, but what are they going to do?
Yeah, exactly. What are they going to do?
He's just racked up a $400 bill,
Yeah.
and he hands over the cash and says, sorry, I don't have a card.
Yeah. You can't be charged with getting a free meal or trying to walk out on a meal because you've got the money, you want to pay for it.
Yeah. And he was saying, oh, but what if they call the police? It's like, well, yeah, what are they going to charge you with?
Yeah.
You're handing over Australian legal tender.
That's right.
Yeah. There's
So
no
that's
charge.
how we keep it going. We just don't support the businesses that go cashless.
Yeah, and it's important that we do it, folks. Make sure you get out there and get your cash on Cash Tuesday. If that's the way you would like to play, then it's great to be part of it. And I know so many people who are. So, please go along and be part of that. It'll help try and keep cash flowing. I notice it's only a little pub, but there is a little pub in outback Western Australia that's now refusing to take anything. Any cards. It has to be cash. You have to do cash. You might want to reboot that thing just while we're thinking about it.
Well, we are still streaming, so I get it.
Yeah, so I think that's still working off. Now that we're connected to Starlink, it's working a bit better, but they're certainly playing funny buggers with Telstra tonight. They're
I noticed that last night too, the signal became very weak.
okay. Well,
But,
maybe they're looking at us, maybe they're not. Starlink seems to be firing up tonight quite well. Are there any other comments? I need my
Yeah,
mouse. What the hell's that?
I
listen to my voice.
noted that one of our local Westpac branches that they advertise as being able to do cash transactions with St George customers. So that's something new, considering most of the branches have been shutting down. I mean, wonderful town that I live in. We lost both banks. Now we have machines that you have to pay $3.50 for to get your money out of the wall. And you know,
So that $3.50 charge is now going to a private operator who puts in
that's correct, yeah.
and they have to still put the cash into the machine.
Yep.
So that means they are transporting cash in their car, because obviously Lindsay Fox is finding it too much to bear the cost anymore, and Armaguard are walking away from cash, or carrying cash, except to go and feed their own ATM machines.
Yeah, well, they're trying to do. I mean, that's the typical monopoly situation. It's a beautiful, brilliant play if you wanted to go down the conspiracy theory side. You know, get it all monopolised by one and then bust the company. Right?
And they'll put those fees up and up and up and up as time goes on.
Yeah, to try and dissuade you from getting cash. Yeah. So what's in it for these businesses then, who own the machines, are putting the cash in, are going to keep charging the fees which the government want them to charge to drive us away from getting cash? Do they realise they're putting themselves out of business? That is in fact what they're going to do, isn't it?
To some respects, but you've got to remember the other part. This is a double grab. right? So you've got the fees and whatever that are being charged by the banks. The poor old retailer is the guy who's copping those fees. And unless they move it on to us, the customer, right, you're going to always have this challenge. And considering there are many, many other ways of transporting the digital money around, and let's face it, your card, your Visa card is digital money, and it's exactly the same as a crypto.
Yep.
There is no difference whatsoever. It's still digital money. And if we're going to get down into conspiracy games, at some stage we'll work out so you can play conspiracy games, to that person who asked. That was Andy Baxter. If you get down into the conspiracy games of the whole thing, right, really, the only legal tender in this country is gold and silver.
Yeah.
Right, as per specified in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Right, so the fiat money is not actually legal tender either. It's just a promissory note, effectively.
Yeah.
But that's just what I think. Don't take financial advice from me. I'm an IT guy, so.
Just between you and me, folks, don't take crypto advice from him either, but I'm about to ask him for some.
Oh, great. You know, I haven't been following the market because I've been wiring a bus all week.
I know, but I did hear today that the crypto market is in that phase where things are a bit quiet or going sideways, as they say.
Yeah.
It goes a little bit down, a little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit up. Now, we were talking a few weeks ago about the big splitting of the coin. That happened. The halving, I beg your pardon, the halving of the coin. That happened. This is the quiet part that sort of happens after the halving. And from what I heard today, this is by design. So the people who get nervous and think, oh no, I'm going to get out of my Bitcoin now, this is the time where they bail out. But what are diamond hands?
That means they hang on to it, right, until it just about falls over. Or if they're really stupid, until it has fallen over,
yeah,
and waits for the next 4-year cycle to come through.
So this is a 4-year cycle that you've been tracking now for some time.
Yeah, for about at least 9 years.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so this isn't unexpected. And what are you expecting in August, September?
Well, in August, September, that's a whole little. This one looks like, because we've had ETF come into market, so you're understanding that the big businesses now have the ability to buy Bitcoin they couldn't buy before, right? So now that they're in, we seem to have a little bit more of an extended sideways movement, and it can go for another 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, right? And then all of a sudden the rest of the bull run will happen. And so I think you'll see the start of that new bull run where certain coins will do really well and certain projects will do really well. Because it's not just money, there are actual physical projects attached to a lot of these things.
Right.
Like I bought some tender for one that's specifically brilliant at making AI.
Right.
So, if I wanted to spend $3 a minute, I could end up sending out and get Elon Musk to do us an ad for Freedom Broadcast Network, and you would think it was Elon Musk. Right. That's one of the projects. It's in crypto. So there's many things, but you'll see, unless what Cass thinks is going to happen, and I believe will happen too, it's all going to come crashing down in a massive heap. In the meantime, that's going to go up and keep going up and keep going up, and somewhere around the end of 25, it should peak out and then fall down again. Right, but that may be moved forward a little bit because of the new businesses, the big businesses coming in.
Right, okay.
But figures, I heard one of the financial newspapers specified they reckon it'll get to 429,000 according to their charts.
US.
Australian.
Oh, Australian.
$429,000 Australian before it falls.
Wow. Okay.
And when I say fall, please understand it's a pullback. It usually drops by about 80%, comes down 80% from its all-time high, and then over a period of time starts the whole process again for the next 4 years. You go through a bear market, then you start into a bull market, and it goes up.
So it's now the time to buy.
Well, Bitcoin's not going to be any cheaper now, right, until the bear market hits in a year and a half's time.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah,
Like-
if you're going to, don't think that it's going to drop for any further down.
Or
Unless,
not
of course,
much.
every market crashes, which is quite possible.
Cass, question for you from our very good mate Black Sheep in Tasmania. Are you familiar with the gold backs, the gold back notes made out of gold and associated other bits and pieces?
No.
I have one, but I don't have it here with me. In fact, Black Sheep gave it to me. His question was, do you think that they could be made here in Australia? What do you know about the regulations? It's more an Ainsley question.
Yeah, it's a question for them. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I tell you what I'll do, Black Sheep. I'll endeavour to try and get one of the guys from Ainsley to answer that. David was only talking to him earlier today.
That's a pass question, that one. We did say that anything we don't know the answer to, we'll just say pass.
Yeah, pass. I don't know. There would be a great cost in actually designing the note, and then I have a $1 gold back which has 1/100th or 1/1000th of an ounce of gold embedded in it.
Yep.
So it retains its value. But if gold goes up, then your $1 becomes $2. Isn't that going to get very confusing when we're handing over $1 notes for $2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how it could really be used as a currency as such. I think it's probably, if I had to pick, I'd say it's probably more a collector's thing than a currency thing. Although, what a great idea to actually have the gold in your $100 note. I mean, it would only be, less than a gram of, or maybe, less than a gram of gold.
Yeah. Well, you've heard Ainsley talk about some of their coins are actually worth, they have $100 printed on them.
Yeah.
But they're currently worth about $3,000.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love the story Ainsley tell about the man that wanted to get a lot of money overseas to buy a house. So he took a huge bag of those, and then when customs said, you've got more than $10,000, he said, no, I haven't. They're each worth $100.
Yep.
And at legal tender for $100. You can
Yep.
take them into the bank and the bank will give you $100.
Yeah.
So he got away with taking a very large amount of money overseas without declaring it.
It's a little known fact, or it's a known fact if you carry anything that has the monarch's head on it and it has a dollar amount on it, then that is what it's worth. If you buy a silver coin, it'll be worth $1, but you'll pay $45 for it because that's what it's. But if you go through customs on the way out, it is worth $1.
Yeah, they actually managed to shift a whole heap of silver by doing that.
Yeah.
Taking the value guy wanted to take. Was it you told that story? I think.
Yeah, the house just
yeah,
then.
the house. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
You weren't
gold.
listening. Well done.
Yeah. I wasn't. No, I was reading. Michelle Bradley Smith just says children are trafficked using Bitcoin. Children are trafficked using any form of money. To be honest, right? It's not the tool; it's the people using it. So, and it's well renowned and known. And this is part of the reason why they want to remove cash, is because most of the biggest criminal deals are cash based.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the dark web has quite an economy as well.
Oh yeah, complete.
Don't suggest to anybody to go and have a look on the dark web. You'll get a strange knock on the door from some even stranger people the following day. It's not a good look. I'm sure there are ways of doing it, but it's not the kind of place you want to go wandering around. And Bitcoin was used extensively there for drug deals, human trafficking. But it was also used extensively around the world to buy flowers for Mum on Mother's Day. So, there are a few different sides to the Bitcoin argument. Whether or not it survives, do we see any alternative? Is crypto going to be part of our future, or is a digital currency definitely part of our future going forward?
Two parts to that. One, yes, it will be part of our future. Two, do we need a fully regulated digital currency as a CBDC? No. I mean, there's plenty of currencies around the world now. Why do we have to be stuck with one that's global? I don't see that as a point. Next question that actually came up on here, and I lost it again. Oh, Cass, how is your son going?
Oh, good question. We did get good news today, not from him. He doesn't talk to his mother too much, but I saw on Facebook that they've said it's not a season-ending injury anymore.
Oh.
They think he'll be back in 6 weeks.
Oh, wow, that's great news. Yeah, because it was quite a concern.
Yeah.
I think it was a hit up. I saw in a replay a few days later. He got tagged.
He got hit, like his arm got twisted behind him.
Yeah.
Poor kid. For those that don't know, my son Harley Smith-Shields plays for the Gold Coast Titans. He used to play for Canberra Raiders. I was absolutely rapt to hear the news he was moving up to the Gold Coast, because that's where I was moving to. But the poor kid has had 3 seasons where very early on in the season he's had a season-ending injury, 3 years in a row. So this would have been devastating.
Tragic.
If he had yet another one. But he'll be back in 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, 6 weeks, that's very positive. He'll be back training full on in probably 3 or 4. So, yeah, that's great. And, of course, he'll be getting the best of the best on the Gold Coast to make sure with his physio.
Cass is a popular person today. Another one, what are the yearly costs roughly for a SMSF?
Yeah, look, you can't get it any cheaper than about 2,500. That's for small balances, because there are minimums that the accountants charge, the auditor charges, the tax office charge, ASIC charge. So 2,500. If you've got a larger balance, so balance over like 300,000, you'll be more looking around 3,800. The thing about the fees that I always like to try and make people understand is, you are paying fees in your superannuation account. So if you're with Host or Rest or anyone like that, you are paying fees there. You just don't see them as well.
Yeah.
In an SMSF, it's like in your face, because you're literally paying it every month. In the other super funds, they are taking it all out of the portfolio itself and then not disclosing it. And I say this all the time, and I've been saying it for 15 years, and I've never got in trouble for saying it. They're actually lying to you, because they only say on your front statement $300, $400, $500 in fees. Yeah. You think, oh, that's pretty good. SMSF's way too expensive. But what they're doing is they then put all your money into investments with the likes of Vanguard, BlackRock, iShares, a whole number of investments, and those companies are charging you 1 to 1.5%. So you could be paying thousands upon thousands. I had a little old lady, she was going to pay $30,000 in fees if she switched back to the corporate supers.
Wow.
But they lied to her and said, no, it'll be $750 a year.
Wow.
But when I finally dug into it and they gave me the right information, it was $30,000. Yet she was only paying us $3,500 for her SMSF.
Yeah, yeah. So it does vary somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5.
Yeah.
But you cap yours, don't you?
Yeah, we do. So then if someone's got $500,000, an SMSF is a lot cheaper. The break-even threshold is about the 300,000 mark. If you've got more than that, an SMSF is cheaper.
Yeah. I think that Black Sheep has got a suggestion here. He believes we need a form of currency that is not legal tender, that we the people can use, non-traceable, non-taxable, in a barter form. I think that's illegal.
No.
No?
No, there is, there used to be barter card, there is also Let's, which is another one. And it's, the thing that came out about it, you can do that, providing with barter card specifically, right, you have to pay the GST. They got to, so while you may trade something for, say, I do 2 hours worth of work for you and you do a radio ad for me.
Yep.
Right. The value of that 2 hours worth of work and the value of the radio ad, we both have to pay GST on that value, even though we literally shook hands and no money exchanged hands. So it's another way that the government's just trying to take their little piece of the pie.
And the tax office also watch barter card and get reports regularly and do audits, because you're also meant to pay income tax on it. So it is not untraceable. It's totally traceable. To me, I believe the only untraceable is back to the gold and silver.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, there may be a record of the transaction if you've gone and bought the gold and silver, or if you keep it under $5,000, there's no record anyway. But once you've got it, what you do with it after that
Yeah.
doesn't have to be anybody's business. So, for example, I've used gold and silver to build my container home here.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. There's another question that came in, one just telling us that New South Wales Government Department doesn't accept cash anymore, RTF. Yeah, or, no, WTF I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as they've got a sign up saying that they don't accept cash, then that becomes a part of the contract law business, and that's a whole different subject we won't go into. The other question that was there from, what does Vince think about XRP as a bridge currency? When you go looking into the crypto and XRP, I don't personally like XRP too much because it's controlled by one company, right? It's not diversified or decentralized, if you like. Will it possibly be used? Yeah, Ripple, XRP do a lot in the background, Swift with major banks. But there are plenty of other cryptocurrencies out there that perform as well or even better in bridging. So it's just a matter of spending the time and the research to do it.
So XRP, my understanding of XRP is that anybody that owns XRP will have it bought back off them because it will be the trading currency, not the public currency.
We hope, right? That's a hopium call.
Right.
Okay. XRP was in a huge legal battle for 4 odd years with the SEC over there, but
And
yeah,
one.
I think they did. They eventually won, but it's still, I think it's just one of.
Where does Stellar sit in all of this?
Stellar is a totally independent. XRP and Stellar are not. See, it's open source, so effectively, around on what contracts are made. But I reserve judgment till I get more facts because I'm more of a facts person.
Okay.
I like facts. I like possibility. This is maybe here, maybe there, right? But I like the other side of the story as well, right? I want to be able to make my own decision, which is part of the reason that we started FBN for that very same point. Not that I'm trying to promote FBN at all, boys, girls, whatever.
What's stopping us launching our own Freedom Fighters crypto coin?
In fact, there's 2 or 3 of them already out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is part of the larger problem then that there is such diversity that people don't know what to invest in?
Yep.
And you're putting a 15th into everything rather than a reasonable sum into one?
Well, you never want to put one cryptocurrency as your main bag. If you're going to hold, you want to hold some in the top 100, but you never want to hold just one cryptocurrency because it can fall through. Do you put all your eggs in one basket? Hell no. That's why I have silver as well as crypto, right? But there is well over 12,000 cryptocurrencies out there at my last look. Right, what are good projects in that and what are bad projects and what are rug pulls? And a rug pull is where, let's make a cryptocurrency and there's 1,000 and we'll dump it all out in the market and we'll take our $1 million and run. Right, that's a rug pull. So you really have to do your research. It's like any business. Only 5% of most businesses succeed, don't they, Cass?
Absolutely. And Vince might not like my thoughts on crypto.
Go for it. It's a free open circuit. Go for it.
So my advice on crypto is put everything that you can't afford to lose into gold and silver.
Correct.
And put everything you can afford to lose into crypto.
Correct. So we are actually in agreement. That's exactly. Never bank on crypto to be your income. If it is, fantastic. But expect to lose it. All right, so what I've got at the moment is money that I expected to lose, just happens to be worth a lot more now than what it was when I put it in there.
Natalie's got what I think is probably suggestion of the night so far. She suggests that we buy our own ATMs and brand them Voice of Freedom or FBN Media and put out our own ATMs and get the $1.50 from each
I had someone else suggest that as a good business model, but how are you going to get the cash into them?
That's the big thing. How do you, how do you put the cash into
Who are you
them?
going to pay people to drive around in cars and then they'll get robbed and may get robbed? It'll be risky business. You're going to pay them a lot of money. They're going to need an armed truck. It's not as easy as it seems.
So are you making Lindsay Fox's argument that armoured guard it's just too expensive to transport cash?
It'd be hard to set up your own business and just like...
The risk is exceptionally high.
Certainly on a national scale. I suppose you could do it in your local area, on the Gold Coast, for instance, if you could find a shop that would take the ATM.
Well, here's the next question. Where do you find the couple of $1 million to put in the ATMs to start off with?
Yeah.
Well, exactly right. And certainly you won't find it in my bank account. So
Nor mine.
Just on that cash out issue, where we are here in Mantambourine, our little town Canungra, on that cash out, the first one they had, I think it was 2nd of April, cash out day. All of the ATMs in the pub, in the post office, in the petrol station, all of the ATMs and the bank ran out of money.
wow.
The bank didn't have cash for 3 days after that day. So
Wow.
the people in this area are obviously very active with that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people living in them there hills, as they say. So, and thank you. At the moment, we are but 3 of them. So, it's a beautiful part of the world too. If you are thinking about getting a bug out spot, or maybe a weekender out the back of the Gold Coast, or Ferny Haven, would that be able to be used maybe for an Airbnb if you put a property out there?
Yeah, there's so many different options. You can invest. We're also setting up a health retreat there, so we'll have health practitioners and
Beautiful,
health seminars. So you might buy a little cabin that you can rent out when those seminars are on. You could buy one with your SMSF. You could buy one for your own weekender. You could buy one to rent out. There's so many different options.
Yeah.
SMSFs can definitely do it too. So everyone that follows me knows that after my 30 years experience in everything financial, now I only recommend, well, I can't say I recommend because I'm no longer a financial planner, but my personal opinion is that I only invest in 3 things. Life is so simple now. After 30 years of so much crazy investment strategies, 3 things: gold, silver, and rural property.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but rural property is a little bit hard to buy because it's very expensive and people don't have enough money for it. But if you can buy a little part of a rural property like our Ferny Haven offer, great for a diversification of your investments, great for SMSFs.
So you're not, and it's important that people make the distinction. You're not building suburbs here. You're building communities.
Communities.
Yeah.
And it's all about community, and that's what I say. Other people on other podcasts I talk about now is that money, what the hell is money for? What really counts in life and what we're going into and what's coming, you need community, people around you, you need food, you need somewhere to live and shelter. So this offers all of that. So just to give you an example, the project that we're in at the moment, in Mount Tambourine, we sold off 40 blocks. A lot of people just bought them as a future investment, so they're not living here. But currently at the moment there's about 20 people living here. Anything that goes wrong, one of the tradies yesterday.
Just got one here from Shrek Swan. I'm a bit late to the chat, but over here in Maisha in WA, they are making laws to stop you from having shipping containers or camping on your own block of land.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where, with the community building, you do need to be careful. And I'm helping other people do this too, if people want to talk to me about it. The zoning of the land is important. So the first project we did was zoned as a caravan park. So you've got the multiple occupancy strategy. The one we're doing now has already got a DA approval for 25 cabins. So you do have to check the zoning laws.
Yeah, zoning is the big thing. And you were very lucky with the property, well, the first property that you guys came across, because it was already semi-zoned caravan. Or
yeah, caravan park. So it's got a max occupancy of 50 people at any given time. So if all of the community was here, we'd be over 50. people here, but we're not all here at the same time. Some
Yeah.
people are just weekenders. Others have got no intention of being here unless the world ends.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, came once.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So
You signed there saying no entry. So
yeah, they
that's
can't come
nothing.
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Found any more in the event?
So you guys keep chatting. DeFi, hang on, DeFi is the way to go, as it's not centralised. It depends on...
Explain DeFi, I've never heard of it.
There's a few different things like AI narratives, DeFi narratives, etc. So decentralised finance is what DeFi stands for. I had to get my brain cells working for half a second there. Once again, it's all about a blockchain and a ledger, and Cass doesn't want to know anything about it because she hates ledgers.
Yeah. Had enough of ledgers.
But come on, guys, throw some extra questions out because I'm supposed to be learning how to read. This is why he did this, because he knows I'm a slow reader. So
We're all slow. We're blokes. We can't talk and read at the same time. That's what makes it so difficult.
okay, so if you own your own property under fee simple, they cannot tell you what to do with it. That's the law.
Oh yeah, hopefully that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So there's a bit of a catch-22 there, because some of the land titles, etc., that you own with the property, that they're now digitising, so you can't get the original. That's a whole nother. They say fee simple. It should actually say in fee. In fee simple means that you own everything above it, everything below it, right? But as fee simple, that's just, just so that they can, it makes it look like it's right,
Right.
but it's not. So once again, follow your conspiracy theory. Which one is true? Right?
Words are important.
Yeah, words are important. Are we looking to go down at? We think we have a title until we don't. Right? Is that the game they're playing, or is it actually a legal title under their maritime law? Is it actually a legal title under God's law? Take your pick, right? And if we don't get enough people out there educating, get enough people out there trying to educate and explain the guys here in Australia, but we need to band together and we need to bring it all into one. FBN, you want us to be around to do this? Then we need as much support as you can get. We need the businesses we need. Otherwise,
It all ends.
it all ends, right? It's a decision that has been made. And that would be a shame, an absolute shame. Anyway, I'll go back to reading.
Land titles. Cass, you've owned a number of properties. You got, I think you were 17 when you bought your first property.
Absolutely.
So a friend of mine today texted me some pictures. He holds the deeds for his property. But there's a lot of talk about digital deeds and the government stealing properties. Do you know what happens in that process, or how that...
We don't know yet what's the plan. When they did go digital, they had a reason for it, which was security. It's all digital now, and the company that, can't remember the name of it, the company that records all the digital title deeds now isn't even an Australian company, it's offshore.
Yep.
So what is it all for? Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Are they planning to take all our property off us? Well, yes, we know that that's what they're planning. Is the digital title deed part of that? Probably. But they've got plenty of other ways as well. They can just raise our rates and land taxes astronomically until we can simply no longer afford it.
We've got a bit of video interference at the moment.
And then the other ones, the floods, the fires. Something that people don't know is they've passed law in WA, and I know the other states were following suit. Don't know if they have yet, but in WA they have passed legislation. I printed it and I read it word for word. I was gobsmacked. If they declare a disaster zone, such as another pandemic, they can physically walk into your house and evict you and make you leave.
Wow.
So it's already in legislation. They don't even need the digital title deed stuff. They've got it in legislation. declare a disaster zone. Or
Yep.
flood the place like they did with Lismore.
Yeah.
Declare it a disaster zone, evict everybody.
Yep.
So we're not safe on property. That is what they're trying to do, is get us off our property.
Yeah, and using Lismore as the example, there are still hundreds of families who are waiting for insurance payouts that they're not going to get, or are being, stuffed around by the insurance companies. Of course, there has been a number of relocations down in the Lismore area. They've moved people to higher ground. I don't know whether or not they've gone to rental properties or actually been given Crown land or whatever in return for their land. But the idea is to get people out of Lismore, and they're going to keep flooding Lismore until everybody leaves. And they don't want them to move far, just a little closer to the coast, and that'll be the new satellite city. So your new 15-minute city that might include Byron Bay, if you're lucky.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. How much gold can you take overseas with you at one time? Stuart, if you buy a gold coin, I'll put it on me for a change. If you buy a gold coin, it will have a $100 written around it. If you are going overseas, you can take up to $10,000 out of the country without declaring it, $9,999 without declaring it. But with a $100 gold coin, you can take $10,000 worth of $100 gold coins and still get out of the country. But that $10,000 worth of 100 gold coins would be worth $500,000 or thereabouts about now.
Yeah, I think it is calculated about 400,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can take as much as you want overseas. You've just got to declare it.
Yeah.
If there's more than 10,000.
But is there a tax on that if you take more than 10,000?
No, you've just got to declare it. I guess that's to track the drug dealers and things like that might do things like that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm declaring that I'm going to take $50,000 overseas. Do I have to declare why I'm going to go and spend it on a holiday or buy a boat?
No, not to my knowledge. I don't think you have to declare why. The government may come asking at some stage though.
Yes. How much can you bring in from overseas?
Same thing. There's a $10,000 limit, but you can bring as much as you want in. You just have to declare it if it's more than $10,000.
Okay.
And I have had the tax department I had a client who had an audit where she had got money from an inheritance that she bought from overseas. It was a couple of years later. They did send her a letter and ask her, please explain where this money came from.
Yep. Right. The WHO pandemic treaty is due to be signed in Australia next week by those people who claim to represent us in Canberra. The UK government has refused to sign it in its current state, saying that it removes British sovereignty. One of the points in the WHO pandemic treaty says that the UK, Australia, America, the richer countries in the world, if you like, the first world countries
Sorry,
in the world.
did you just call Australia rich?
Yeah, I beg your pardon.
Not the people living in it anyway.
No, well, we will be funding all the medical treatment for the people in the poorer countries from now on. We will be made to buy the PPE and the vaccines and everything else. And a portion of what Australia buys will have to be given to the WHO, so that they can hand it out to countries that can't afford it.
Yeah.
This is communism.
Oh, it's all about one world government. That's really what it's all about.
What?
So the WHO, we've got, in fairness though, some of our politicians are balking at this. Federal election for Barker, I was up against Tony Passon. I can't believe he actually come out and said no to this. He's actually stood up and said no. He's,
Is he an independent?
No, he's Liberal.
Is he?
So he's one of the wings of the bird.
So yeah, a lost feather.
Well, he got dislodged.
Yeah, he's been dislodged.
But effectively, I don't know how they're going to go with that, because they can't actually do anything. They've got to wait 4 months or so. Vote, because it has to be tabled correctly. Otherwise, they break their own constitution.
Do they really care about whether they broke their own laws or not, though?
Well, it goes to a legal court. They got caught.
Courts are dodgy. The court will decide whatever the
Yeah, this is
suits the
true.
government.
Trump will go out and say, this judge is corrupt.
No, we can't. Our laws are different to Americans. They will come and knock on your door if you start calling a judge crooked and corrupt here. So, yeah.
Even if it's actually true.
Well, truth has to be fair. You can believe your own truth, but what can you prove? And you've got to go and prove it on their court, in their the bench.
You know the argument, right, is that you go into there and you say, I'm sorry, based on the fact that certain laws were broken way back in the 70s. If I am correct, right, and those laws are broken, then the law you're charging me under now doesn't exist. So we need to prove that. And by the way, Your Honour, you can't sit on this because you will be sitting in conflict.
Treason.
Well, in conflict, because if I prove my case, you're in treason, right? And even if I don't prove my case, your job's in jeopardy. So you're in conflict. So who is the only people that can decide whether it's true or false?
We the people.
However, try and get that through a court. So don't use that as legal advice. It's just a philosophy.
No, don't do legal advice.
No, don't do legal advice.
No. All right, guys. Look, we've been going an hour or so. Is there any other questions, Vince, that you've seen there? Let me have a glance.
300% on rise on gold. For entertainment purposes only, judges are corrupt and unlawful.
Norfolk, yes. Thank you, Sunflower.
Coming in from Sunflower. So, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Come on, guys, if you've got questions, this is the time. I mean, there's not that often you're going to get all three of us together. Right, so the directors of FBN, so you can have your shot now. Do you want us to do this or do you don't? Are you happy to see us just go on and leave Carl and his poor little lonesome and homeless and all that sort of stuff? Or do you want to actually have a network out there that's going to bring the truth, give you shows, give you game shows, give you local community stuff like how to live on a farm and how to milk a goat, or if in case you actually want to try it, you can try milk a bull, but yeah, we don't know what will happen there.
Whoa. You'll either make a very angry or very happy bull, I would have thought.
I'll just let my daughter go and punch it in the nose like I did with the last one.
Ah, yeah, that's right. You've got a tough daughter. You do. All right, I think we might leave it. I know Cass isn't feeling terribly well, so thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, much appreciated.
And sorry, sort of turned us away from the fireside chat, but it would have been a wet and bedraggled fireside chat with a few sparks coming out of the electronic equipment. Would have made life very difficult for the evening. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's reached out recently, offering advice and a bit of support. Thank you so much. Dale, thank you for your support too. I was having a bit of a chat today with David, and yeah, he told me about you, so thank you very much. And for anybody else who wants to get on board and try and help broadcasting network going forward, at the moment you can do it through vofhq.com. We have a donate button, and there is also our memberships there. You can join from as little as $1.65 a week. I had an inquiry from a guy today who wants to sign up to become a member, so hopefully we've picked up one more today. We'd love to pick up a few more, so if that's you, please pop over to vofhq.com and sign up to become a member, or if you can spare a shekel or two, then there's a donate button if you don't want to sign up for membership. Vince, have I remembered everything?
Yeah, also don't forget that to hit the like and subscribe HQ YouTube channel, and also to the FBN Online Media YouTube channel. We will be using that, but we are also developing, well, if everything goes according to plan, we're also developing our own website where you will be able to go and pick your programs that you want to watch and the information you want through there. It is still in the baby steps, but getting Carl out on the road and getting running into trouble like that,
Yeah.
right? We, you know, it all takes a draw on us being able to go and do the stories. We're not out there for purely human stories. We're out there to do all sorts of stories, news, whatever. So for the FBN side, but any money that's going to VOF at this stage is going straight into the FBN coffers to keep this bus on the road. So everything that you can do would be really, really helpful. One more thing, to help move forward, I'm looking for researchers. Right now, at this moment, that'll be a prove to me what you can do. Down the track, as FBN gets off and running, then coming out of that, if we can get enough happening. So anybody who, with your name, and I'll get back to you. So if you've got time to sit there and hunt around, because honestly, we don't.
We don't.
we're flat out trying to keep.
I mean, we do a lot, but we can't do it all.
Yeah, exactly. And the more that we can pick, and the more that we can get validated. What was that one that you talked about that you found, Cass? That
the ancient, the discovery of ancient ruins or ancient artifacts
Has rewritten human history. Yeah.
Yeah, gone back 500,000 years. No dinosaurs. This is really interesting. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a talk about that maybe over the weekend or Monday. Although Vince is here until Tuesday, aren't you?
Well, yeah, Tuesday at 4:30 in the morning I'm leaving.
4:30 in the morning we'll be leaving.
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
Even worse.
Yeah, well, I don't want to drive you back to Adelaide. You're going to make that. Although I'd love to drive to Adelaide. We'd have lights. It'd be great. We just don't have fuel. Freedom Financial, ffs.com.au, and you can basically get all the information you need there. If after you've gone through that information and you have questions, as said on Thursdays at 12:30, I think there is a link on the site to log yourself or get logged in for that or get an invite to that Zoom, and that's the place to get Cass one-on-one, well, 1-on-21, however many people are there, and get your question answered about a self-managed super fund. Good luck to you if that's what you're setting up. It's a big step, but I haven't met anybody yet that we've introduced to self-managed super funds who regrets taking that step. And even met a lot of people who've set up self-managed super funds before we started talking about it, and they are all very, very happy with what and how that's all working for them financially. Their wealth under their control, and you can get that too. Just get your super out and convert it. Gold, silver, and rural property is Cass's advice. Thank you both for popping in for tonight's show, Cass. Even though you're not feeling too well. We've got code.
Don't forget our wonderful Ainsley Bullion as well.
Oh yes.
Who for the gold and the silver and the stuff that they supported the FBN network a bit, getting you out and about with a little tour with them.
Yep.
They are just a couple of the businesses that have supported FBN, but just two businesses. We can't go begging to them all the time. So anybody out there, right? Like I've said, if anybody does work through and mentions VOF or FBN to me when I'm doing my IT work, I will donate some of that funds to FBN. So if you've got businesses out there or companies out there and you're happy to have an ad made or anything, I'm really pushing this because I don't want to see this shut. Right?
Yeah.
If you've got an ad or just even a voiceover that gets played in your local radio
You were
station.
even here when I did one the other day.
I was, and you should see the effort he goes through. That's a whole. I should have filmed that, but anyway. And the same as you should have filmed me getting soaked from the.
Oh yes, from the gazebo.
Yeah, that's so funny. But
Yeah.
guys, we're out there. You're out there. We are our own little echo chamber, as my wonderful friend Tim Dwyer likes to say. Share us. Get us out there. Let people see who we are, what we're doing, right? And just, if you want to know where someone is at, ask a question.
Yeah.
Any simple question.
Yep.
It's the best way to start a conversation.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Anything to add, Cass?
No, I'm all good.
No. We're going to have to go out and look after Kobe, who's very unhappy that he's been left outside tonight. He He is a beautiful dog, and he would come and sit here right beside me, I'm pretty sure, but I have cables running everywhere in here, and he is a reasonable size,
Yeah.
and the tail is like a broom. So unfortunately he had to sit out tonight, but I'm going to have to go and make it up to him because he's rather unhappy. Thank you for your love and support, folks, and look forward to seeing you again. We will be chatting over the weekend, particularly on the Nun2K channel with the mobile phone. You light. Maybe all the light bars finished as well, but yeah, we'll show you light. Until then, have yourself a good one, folks, and we look forward to catching you at the next show.
Cheers all.
Growth.
Oh, I was looking at us.